Okay, so how does the left set itself up to lose? I really feel identity politics is how that's done. And I'll just read you the damn tweet. Sarah Rao, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right.
Sarah Rao
says, quote, white people need to stop writing black and brown characters. And well, I said, yeah, how dare people empathize with other human beings? Because that's what's happening when you're writing any character. Whenever you're writing a character, whatever the color is, like you're writing based on some kind of human empathy. You're putting your human experience into this fictional character. And also, it's like, come on, guys, have you ever seen The Wire? Have you ever seen Black Panther? I've read a comic. Have you ever read Mark Twain?
Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn is a classic.
It's one of the greatest books in American literature.
It's really kind of fucked up to demand a ban of white writers. Like they can only create white characters. I mean, and I say it's equally ridiculous demanding such a ban on any color people, restricting them to only have characters of the same color. I mean, that's insane. It really made me laugh when I fucking saw this. And I'm looking through the replies and people are like, oh, Mark Twain's canceled. They're trying to cancel Mark Twain. Shakespeare is canceled. It's absolutely insane. And someone did bring up the fact that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, they created Black Panther. Two white guys created Black Panther. Now, somebody responded to me and said, Black Panther is not a good example because, quote, it's not a great defense. He did mostly suck. Black Panther sucked until black writers repaired him. Now, I'm not a comic book expert. I'm not a history of the Black Panther expert. But I do know that most comics do suck at the beginning and they get better. All of them. Superman sucked. He had no vulnerabilities at all. Like, that's a boring fucking story. Who the fuck can relate to a Superman that has zero vulnerabilities? Kryptonite didn't stop him. Nothing. I mean, what a boring fucking story. A guy that can never lose. There's no drama, no suspense, no because you know damn well nothing can bother this motherfucker. So whether it sucked or not, before black writers started writing the Black Panther character in comics, is kind of irrelevant because this argument demanding that white people stop writing black and brown characters, it's a moronic blanket statement. To refute that statement, you don't need to say, oh, Stan Lee is the best Black Panther writer ever, or that Jack Kirby is the best Black Panther writer ever. You just have to show that they made some contribution, that their writing had some contribution to a good, universally beloved character that happens to be black and or brown. And most people would say that creating the Black Panther, you know, was kind of a significant contribution to the Black Panther. A little bit of a contribution to the Black Panther story. Just a little bit. So this is just the identity politics thing. It's so divisive and can get so stupid that it naturally gets so much media attention. The more divisive and stupid something is, the more media attention it will get. And that's why the more complex issues that would have a bigger impact on everybody, like healthcare, like a universal basic income, we don't discuss it as much, to our own downfall, possibly. Probably. The fucking Wire, the creator of The Wire, is a white guy. I mean, whether you like Obama or not, it's like Obama's favorite show. It's a lot of people's favorite show. It's an incredible show because of the great characters. Many of them are black and brown, but that's not what makes them. I mean, that's almost irrelevant. Oh, and then what makes this even more insane is under the new Academy Award rules. Under the new Academy Award rules, your film isn't eligible for a Best Picture nomination unless it includes minority characters. But this chick is saying that you're also not allowed to write minority characters if you're white. Seems like a dilemma, as Glenn Greenwald and many other people have pointed out. And like Glenn says, I'm quoting Glenn now, Also, do we want white authors making white-only art? I mean, you're basically saying people shouldn't empathize with other people. You shouldn't empathize with your fellow human being unless they're the same color as you. That's what this woman is saying. That's what that means. Saying white people need to stop writing black and brown characters is saying that white people need to stop empathizing with their fellow human beings who are not white. That's so bigoted, so stupid, so counterproductive. Ha! Bozo says, and the Academy Award for most woke and pandering goes to... It goes to Sarah Rao, who tweeted this. Oh, God. It's so dumb. Jesus Christ. With this logic, you could make a racist movie where all the minority characters are like deranged and just like a terrible negative representation, and you qualify for Best Picture, but fucking It's a Wonderful Life does not qualify. No, that can't be considered. Oh, God. See, what makes a movie like It's a Wonderful Life a good movie, it has nothing to do with the colors of the characters. Literally anybody can identify with the situation of a character who's, struggling with money. Anybody, any color can identify with that. And It's a Wonderful Life, it happens to be a white family. But anybody, no matter what their color, can identify with that film. Likewise, Black Panther, almost all black characters, white people can identify. They identify and empathize with those characters. It's just so dumb to say that people should only write their color because people can empathize with characters of other colors. Because we're all human. Because we're all fucking human. You idiots. Race is like, it's a myth. It's just colors, pigments. Like, we're all the same species. It's just so dumb to be focusing on this. Now, that said, obviously, like, there are issues that affect some color people more because of our history. Duh. But, my God, I mean, it's bigoted to say that a certain group of people can't be writing characters of another color. Now, obviously, an author or any artist, they can do dumb art with a character of another color. That happens a lot. I'm sure it does. Just like artists do a lot of bad work, period. So you criticize that work. You don't ban all authors from writing characters of another color. You just criticize that one author's work. And this one author's work. You don't make a fucking ban. This is insane. Here's another thing, guys. It's clear that films and just media content in general, television and film, with lead female roles and people of color, those are in more demand. Okay? Now, I can say certainly shows with female leads are in higher demand. That's literally what the networks are looking for. Because I've worked in TV with TV producers, and I've been asked, like, oh, do you got any ideas for shows? And I recently was sent like a whole list of what every network's looking for. And most of them are looking for shows with lead women, with women, specifically. So this is just an example. And I believe this is similar demand for films with people of color. And so there's this new market demand. That's what's in demand. And so to require seems totally necessary. And so it's just pandering. It's just unnecessary because obviously if it's in demand, people are going to do that anyway. And then when you require it, it's like, now you're going to, have all this conversation like, oh, did they just do that just because it's required? Well, then it's not sincere. Why would you force that shit? Now you've created that bullshit debate. I mean, it's just insulting. It's insulting to filmmakers to say that they wouldn't do that already. It's already in demand. It's already in demand. It's already happening. You don't need to require it. You make this manifesto requiring it, and then it just puts into question real sincerity. Authors and filmmakers who really felt and empathized with a black character. And now you've just brought into questions like, oh, was this sincere? Was this just to qualify for the best Oscars? You didn't have to do that. I just think that hurts because now you're going to have that conversation. And allegations of these people just pandering. And I don't think artists, at least not ones that are good enough to win a Best Picture. I don't think you can win a Best Picture if you're just doing it for pander reasons. Nah, you got to really empathize with those characters. You got to, no matter the color, you got to really empathize with that story to win a Best Picture. And yet they're setting up for, allegations to call into question real authors' motivations. Anyway, that just bothers me a little bit. Sarah's ex Harkonnen says, is a white guy doing the Wakanda Forever sign racist? Obviously not, but I'm sure you can find somebody that thinks it is. This is another issue. Hold on. So Zamp14 says, to be honest, if I was a director, it's not about color, race, or skill. Actors need the personality to play the role they are attempting to star as. Okay, now this is another issue. I saw something about like Hollywood needs to hire like transgender actors because transgender actors have been discriminated against by Hollywood. It's like, what? Hold on. Now, I got in a big argument, still friends. Like, I don't get rid of friends because you argue about stuff, because I know I could always be wrong, and I want to know I'm wrong if I'm wrong. And one way to learn if you were wrong is to have friends who disagree with you, because they'll tell you when you're wrong. Anyway, so this came up, and I'm like, I don't know if there's a history of transgender people being discriminated by Hollywood and losing roles because of being transgender. I don't know. I don't know of any history of that. I mean, if there is there, and yet they were very adamant about how transgender people have a history of being discriminated by Hollywood. Hollywood will fucking hire anybody that, like most professions. If you can act like the character, you can play the character. Also, oh my God, this just totally spontaneously popped into my head, but I remember a woman played Peter Pan in an old Peter Pan movie a long time ago. I don't think anybody is going to like say, oh, wait, hold on. Are you really a woman or are you really a man? If you can play the part, they don't give a damn.
Fuck you, Matt. You're making my cock fall off.
Man, great job, Matt.
He goes by the name Orf.
Wonderful job.
This will call him Matto, because I don't want to butcher his name.
Matt Orphalia.
Matt Orphalia.
Matt Orphalea.
Subscribe to him.
Matt Orphala. Matt Orphala.
Matt Orphala.
Incredible.
I follow this guy on YouTube. You should too. His name is Matt Orphalia.
Orf.